A little bit ago, I read this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the conclusion of the whole book is very, very simple. If you want to make friends, win friends, or influence people, technically all it's saying is to be selfless. Be selfless in the conversation. Be selfless in your goal with them. Be selfless in the way you think about them. Everything like that, you are selfless. That's technically the full conclusion of the whole book. Every chapter that gave you a tactic or gave you examples of how to go about things when it comes to influencing people is to think about the other person. Who's the audience? Who's the person you're talking to? What do they need? What do they want? And things of that nature. So if you want to influence people, genuinely be interested in them. But you have to be genuine about it. It can't be fake. You can't just pretend to be interested in someone. Actually have the desire to learn about new people. Be interested in learning about how amazing people can be. So ask them questions. You can have a conversation with someone. You see someone with like these branded shoes. You go up to them and you're like, for example, you're like, hey, what brand's that? I've never seen that before. And they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. They're made in Brazil or something like that. Oh, how much did it cost? And you sort of like dive down this like conversation hole of about those shoes. But it doesn't really matter the question you ask. Just be interested in them. People love to feel important. People love to feel heard. Sometimes people love to talk about themselves. Usually, the person that they're going to know the most is themselves. And it's easier for them to talk about themselves than it is to talk about you because they don't know you. So let them talk about themselves. Keep asking them questions. Hey, what'd you say your name was? Blah, 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 blah. Go into another hole. Oh, shoot, are you from around here? How long have you been here for? Stuff like that. You keep diving into those sort of questions. Don't overthink it. Let the questions just come to you in the moment. Very simple. It could be like a brain dead question as well. It doesn't have to be too fancy or too well thought out. Because it may seem weird, but you could be asking questions the whole time and they could be answering them. And as long as you're cracking a few jokes, it feels natural. You're not awkward about it. You're just being casual. It's not gonna seem like an interview. It's just gonna seem like they're gonna walk away and be like, that person's a good person. Like he's a G or she's a G or whatever, and they're gonna feel like you're good at talking, that you're good at conversation, when all you were doing were asking questions. You didn't really say anything about yourself. If they do say something and ask you a question, you can keep it short and sweet. You don't really have to go in depth about it. And yeah, ask good questions. If you want to make a new friend, ask them a question about what they're wearing, clothing they're wearing, or maybe ask them a question on something that you observe of them. Have a predetermined question. If you want to go talk to someone, you could have a predetermined question. Could be a stupid question, could be a very stupid question. It might make them laugh. So you see someone, right? You might see someone at the gym, or you might see someone at school, or you might see someone at work or whatever. You haven't met them yet. For example, you see them at school, and maybe they like to eat by themselves in the same spot. You go up to them and you're like, hey, do you usually eat around here? Like in this spot? And they're kind of confused. They'll be like, yeah, I guess so. And then you go, oh, can I eat with you? I'll sit with you and eat with you. And they're like, yeah, sure. And they might be a little bit awkward. And you sit with them and you're like, oh, what do you got for lunch? Give me your lunch now, bitch. No. And you just strike a conversation with them. You just chill, relax. Oh, okay, what year are you? And then, yeah, what's your name? Where are you from? That's awesome. And you just you're technically interviewing them, but you make it real casual and natural, that it's not an interview, it's genuinely just you being interested in someone else and making them feel important. Now that person will probably admire you, would probably feel good when knowing that they met you. So if you want to make friends, ask them a question. Can you just ask them a question? It's actually that simple. Ask them a question and then go from there. Don't overthink it. It could be a stupid question. It could make them laugh. Then you're counted as funny. It could be a deep question, and then maybe you have a good conversation. Maybe it's too forward, but who gives a damn? Oh no, I don't really feel comfortable talking about that. Oh, that's okay. What else are your plans today? What do you think about doing today? You know, just it's real natural. You don't have to overthink it. Ask questions. If you want to influence people, ask questions. Be interested in people. Have the desire to learn about new people and how people work.